This is Kirsten Danielle Trotter. She's my daughter, and she's an author. She's in the process of getting ready to publish her second book. So, she's a mother, she's a wife, she's an author. My husband is in the kitchen dancing.
Oh, no.
Oh my goodness, you don't want to see this because he's literally in there shaking his booty. Okay, we're just going to act like that didn't happen.
My eyes burn.
Okay, so, Kirsten, tell us what you're up to.
First of all, thank you for pronouncing my name correctly. No. Where am I at in the process?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I finished the book on April 25th.
Uh-huh.
So, which I wrote it in 4 months because it just came out like lightning. So I finished it on April 25th, and then probably 2 weeks later, I submitted it to be printed for the beta readers, and you're one of the beta readers, and so their job has just been to kind of read it, see if they like the plot, maybe some things that they want more of versus things that they maybe don't like so much. Or like a suggestion you had was to have something start at the beginning of a chapter versus at the end, and I'm working on that right now.
Yeah.
But so that's what the beta readers are doing, and then I've also hired an editor, and we are going through and we're just cleaning things up, making it much more polished. So really what that looks like is just removing a lot of commas and stuff like that. You know, it's grammatical, but it's also making sure that the story flows really nicely. So when you read it, you're not taken out of it, you know, that you can just stay right there and focused. So.
Okay. And the editor and I are both encouraging you to include beauty.
Yes. Yep.
And take us with you to the place that you're at.
Yeah.
By being descriptive. So that we can see it, we can hear it, we can smell it.
Yes.
We can feel it, we can be there.
That has been my biggest praise so far, is everybody is really into the description, you know. I really, that's my background, I love poetry. So dropping you right in the world and letting you feel what's going on, that's what I like to do.
Okay, so what comes next?
So I've jumped on my very first podcast yesterday, so I guess this would be a second.
Uh-huh.
And it was a literary podcast, so I have just been meeting all sorts of new people in this sphere. I found out that the indie author community, that'd be independent authors, they are some of the most friendly people. I was really worried that it would be like a clash of egos, you know, but everybody's really supportive of each other. Some of us are I'm going both routes, where I am working on independently publishing it, but I'm also querying literary agents. So what that means is I am pitching tons and tons of literary agents right now. And
have you heard back from any of the literary agents?
I finally got one. I got one to ask for more pages, and I know that seems like a small thing. It's not because you get a million slams in the door slamming in your face, you know, because they're looking for a very specific thing. Usually they have a list of types of books they want to publish, and so if your genre or your type of book where you're going with it doesn't fit their list, then you get the automated thank you, come
and
again.
This is what I told Kirsten about handling that. I don't know if you ever deal with rejection, but this is what I told Kirsten about rejection. I said, I want her to imagine that she is the waitress in a restaurant. And when she goes up to a table, she asks the people at the table, are you ready to order? They may not be ready. If they're not ready, they're going to tell her, no, we're not ready yet, and she'll have to walk away and wait. Once people have been served, she might go back and ask them if they'd like a refill on their drink. Some are going to say yes. Others are going to be, no, I'm finished. Okay? So, in life, you're going to have the yeses You're going to have the not nows and you're going to have the no's. And you just have to learn to categorize those things so that you're not always feeling like you have personally been rejected.
Yeah, and that's a very hard thing to do with anything creative, is that taking a no, meaning it could be not right now.
Mm-hmm.
It could be this is not right for me. And that's the thing, like, especially writing in high fantasy. There are some people who go, oh, I don't read high fantasy. Well, it's not for them, you know? And there's some people who, the book's 600 pages long. Some people are going to go, oh, no, thank you. You know, but then there's a special group that a 600-page book, oh, that's something I can fall into for a month, you know, and something I can really fall in love with. That's my person, you know. And so another next thing would be, once it goes to print, I'm going to be auditioning narrators, because I am probably at least, if not more, excited for the audiobook. Yeah. And it's going to be about 18 hours of audiobook.
Yeah. So. And something that I have really, really encouraged Kirsten about is, when you are auditioning people for the audiobook, you have to get the right person, because I don't know how many times I have grabbed an audiobook thinking that it was going to be great, and then it's like, I can't stand to listen to this voice.
Yeah. And in this case, I've got to have it's got to be a man, and my instructions for my leading lady, if he does not read it the way that he would read Princess Leia, then he's doing it wrong. I mean, she's got to have some authority. She, you know, she's got to mean business. So anyway, So speaking of which, since I am not like my female main character, and I am 100% human, and my beauty is not aided by being half elf, what can we do to stay agelessly beautiful? What are some myths around that?
There are some myths, and one of the myths that we've heard, and we hear it all the time, I mean, there is a commercial on Fox News about ageless male.
I don't think I've seen that one enough.
Oh,
I mean,
my goodness.
How many times do you need to be reminded to be an
How many
ageless
times
male?
does a man need to be reminded that he's got bags under his eyes and he needs to use better skincare?
You could look like this.
Yeah. Why look like this when you could look like this? Okay, so here's the truth. Let's be real. Okay. Aging is not a disease. Okay? If you think that aging is a disease, you're wrong. Aging is absolutely a privilege. Every line on my face, every freckle, every smile mark, I have lots of them. Look, I smile a lot. They tell a story. So the beauty industry loves to sell us the idea that aging is something that we fight or that we resist. And we're just told, use this product, use this product, use this product, or this one. Here's the truth. You don't need to be anti-aging. You can care for your skin, nourish your body, and radiate your beauty without pretending you're still 25.
I'm not.
Guys, I'm not 25.
I'm also not 25.
She's not 25. We can't pretend that we're 25. I am all in for pro-aging. I'm all in for graceful aging. I'm all in for empowered aging. I'm all in for whatever feels right for you. Sometimes you're going to come to my house, I'm going to look like this. Other times you're going to show up at my house and I'm going to be wearing my work shorts, my tank top, and my ponytail. That's probably the way you're going to see me 90% of the time. So, whatever feels right for you, not anti-aging.
Totally just missed my chai tea attacking my face. I knew it was a terrible idea.
The term anti-aging can die. We're not elves. Okay, so what's the next myth?
This one has to do with hydration. So I guess if I just drink enough water, then I'll be effortlessly beautiful.
Yeah. Hydration's good. It's very important. And water is essential. That's why Kirsten has her jug. You've got to have it for your overall health. But the idea that drinking a gallon of water a day will magically fix your dull skin and erase your fine lines and wrinkles or eliminate dryness, it's a myth.
I should put that in the next book. There should be some magic water that you can drink and just eliminate
If
everything.
you create magic water, I'll drink it.
Okay.
I'm here for the magic water. The real glow comes from a combination of things, and Kirsten knows that I'm very big on these things. First, collagen support. Hello, Daily You. I take my Daily You liquid collagen every single day. My skin has not looked better in the, 4 years now that I've been taking it. You've got to have a solid skincare routine. If you don't have a skincare routine, then I'm sorry. You're not going to have beautiful glowing skin. Nutrient-rich foods. How often do I talk about food?
A lot.
A lot.
There's been a lot of sourdough around here, but I don't think that's where you're going with this.
Not necessarily the sourdough, but nutrient-rich foods. You've got to have your leafy greens. You've got to have your carrots. You've got to have your fruits and your vegetables. And you guys know, I grow a lot of this myself. Also, your targeted supplements. Hello, Shala. I love my Shala Revive Greens. That is my way of knowing that I'm getting the nutrients I need every single day for my skin. Of course, you've got to have quality sleep and stress management, which is where Relax 5 comes in, because it helps me to get that quality sleep that I need. So, yes.
No, you really brushed past that quality sleep thing, but it is desperately important because your retention of water is based on your quality of sleep. So if you go to bed late and you wake up early, your body's not going to be able to retain water in the proper way. It actually needs a certain period of time to regenerate for.
So you've got to have sleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very important. That is probably, you want to be beautiful, get good sleep.
Get good sleep.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on your side. We can talk about that later. Yes, drink your water. Make sure you drink that water.
Yeah.
But don't oversimplify your skincare because there's a whole lot more to it. What else have you got for me?
Clean and natural. Okay.
Oh. We are on a natural kick. While I was at physical therapy talking to my therapist, Erin, we got to talking and I told her that I'm very holistic. I am all about holistic medicine. And so the idea that natural is better, I use my essential oils a lot for pain. I use my essential oils a lot for skincare. I use them to clean. I'm all about natural, but it's tricky. We think that natural ingredients are better and chemicals are bad. But did you know poison ivy's natural? Poison ivy's natural. I don't want it on my skin. Lead is natural. I don't want it in my body. Hyaluronic acid, peptides, those are made in a lab. Give me all the hyaluronic acid that you want. Give me all the peptides because those are good. So the key is to know your ingredients. Mm-hmm. Don't just grab those buzzwords and say, hey, the buzzword is what I'm after. If it says it's all natural, I'm good. So know your ingredients. Read your labels, do your research, ask questions. Don't fall for greenwashing. Look for results and safety, not just the word natural. What else have you got?
Will menopause ruin my beauty?
Are you perimenopausal?
No.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Huh. You look like you could be perimenopausal.
I look like I could be perimenopausal.
How old are you?
I'm going to turn 34 in about 2
34.
weeks.
You got probably 6 years.
Hey, I feel better than I ever have.
You've got about 6 years. So, Perimenopause,
Ooh,
or menopause. Menopause does not ruin your beauty. I actually was forced into menopause when I was 28 years old. I ended up at 28 having a radical hysterectomy because my uterus was covered in tumors. And in order to biopsy the tumors, we had to remove it from my body. And then I had to have both ovaries removed as well. So, it does not ruin your beauty.
So with menopause often comes like a drop in estrogen is the point. Okay.
Yeah. Menopause is going to bring changes. You're going to have hormone shifts. My husband can tell you all about the hormone shifts. I not only had given birth to 2 children in 2 years, this being one of them, but then I got really sick and I had to have a hysterectomy. And so I've got all of this stuff going on like a cyclone in my body. And hormone shifts. Your skin might get drier. It might get thinner. It might be more sensitive.
Well, and here's another thing. Like, a lot of women my age are having their buccal fat removed right here to kind of make this a little thinner. You're going to lose that with age anyway. So keeping that fullness,
You know, fads are so bizarre to me because you say they're having this removed
It's buccal fat right
to look more beautiful. But back in the gold rush days, back in the 1800s, when dental hygiene wasn't a big thing and women lost their teeth and
that would be a sign,
caused that to go in, they packed their jaws with cotton to make their faces look more full.
Yeah, so I mean, you're going to...
Isn't it strange how those fads come
It's a
and
fad,
go?
yeah, and if you don't want to live with it in 30 years, you know,
Exactly.
do it now,
Yeah, I wouldn't do anything now that I didn't think I could
that's
live
exciting though, is that if that's a look you want, I mean, you're getting older. We're all getting older, you know. So it's going to naturally diminish, and you know, eventually you may just end up looking like that naturally.
That may just be your natural look. So the key to menopause is you're not losing your beauty. You're transitioning. You're changing. I'm telling you, when I went from coloring my hair, having dark auburn hair, to losing the skunk stripe and going with my natural silver, I got a lot of feedback. I got a lot of flack. Not everybody was on board. Not everybody thought that this was the look that I should have. But I'm going to tell you something. Transition is good. I will never regret changing from brown hair to silver hair because I feel like that was a transition that needed to be made. I was fighting too hard to keep that youthful appearance. Now I don't fight at all.
Well, and when I was very young, you cut your hair very short and wore it in like a pixie style, you know, because that was what you needed to do back then, you know. So,
well, yeah, after having Chelsea, my hair was falling out in handfuls. And so
it was really cute. Like,
she
looked really nice in short hair.
Yeah,
so,
I had to cut it, and it was like, oh.
So it's like rolling with...
You just roll.
With the changes,
Roll with the changes. Transition. Transition's good. There's so much power in learning what your body needs. So as you make that transition into perimenopause, when you transition into menopause, you need to know what your body needs. You might need collagen. You might need omega-3s. You might need adaptogens. You might need a difference in skincare that supports your changing skin barrier. You're still beautiful. You might need some Shala balance to help with the... I'm going to tell you, I wish I had had Shala balance when I was 28, 29, 30. My husband, I'm telling you, my husband could have done without the mood swings. But what you need to know is you're still beautiful, you're still vibrant, and you're still you. So, what about another myth? We got another one?
Something to do with exercising, maybe.
No pain, no
No
gain?
pain, no gain.
Well, this isn't really about exercise, but
Oh.
it is. It pops up all the time. In diets, it pops up in fitness, which would be exercise, and it pops up in skincare routines. We think that if it doesn't hurt, it's not working. How many of you use an exfoliating scrub or an exfoliating mask and you want to feel it?
Yeah.
Okay. People think that if you can't feel it, it's not working. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes what you feel is scratching your skin and doing more damage than good. Where something gentler is going to do the job very well without damaging your skin.
Because once you break that skin barrier, now your skin's going to overcompensate. And it's going to have a reaction. I've definitely dealt with that before.
Yeah. So you don't need to suffer. You don't need to starve. You don't need to live in the gym. And you certainly don't need to burn your face off. Healing can be gentle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It doesn't have to hurt. Nourishment can be simple. When I got diagnosed with prediabetes, I've never been told I was full-blown diabetic except by the diabetic doctor. But anyway, I learned to nourish my body. I learned to get all of the things that my body needs in simple formats. You need to take care of yourself, but you don't need to feel like you're punishing yourself.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's so if you have the mindset that there's something wrong, then that means there's something broken and we got to fix it. That's a terrible mindset. You know, it's better, I think, to go with, you know, this is different than what I'm used to. What can I do to feel better? You know, what can I do to make this, you know, as best as I can handle? So with you going gray, you know, it was a transition, and so there was things you did to make it easier. You know,
Silver.
First she was mostly silver, and she had a little bit of the dark on the bottom, and she sort of transitioned into that. So, you know, you could go at it gently, you know, and it's like you're moving towards something instead of running away from something, and that's going to be better for
good.
you. Yeah, it's going to be better for you all around.
Why would we run away from aging? Aging is beautiful.
I look forward to the woman I'm going to be in 20 years.
Yes.
Yeah, she's not going to take any crap. You know?
I look forward to the woman I'm going to be in 20 years. Just watch out, guys. 20 years from now, that 80 may be my best year ever. Ever. Can we leave the myths behind and replace them with truth? Okay. So let me give you some truth. Aging is a gift. It's not a flaw. Your glow comes from within. And it also comes from smart skincare. Not all natural products are good. I'm not saying that natural products aren't good. I'm saying not all natural products are good. Not all science is scary. Menopause is not the end. It's a new chapter. And you don't need to suffer to be well. Kirsten, what's the name of the book?
The name of the book is The Endowment.
Why? Why did you name it The Endowment?
Because I got to 250 pages and I didn't have a name, and so my dad sent me like 40 options, and he had some bangers in that. But no, why did I name it The Endowment? So The Endowment, we follow a young man. I write from the male gaze. He's a soldier. He's a captain. He comes from nothing. It's a very classic tale. He comes from nothing, and he's hiding some abilities, and he encounters a danger that prompts him to go find help. And he goes and he finds help, and he happens to find the guy who can really help him along. His Obi-Wan, if you will. And
so does that mean this male hero becomes endowed with certain special talents?
that's it. He discovers that his abilities he's been hiding are very, very important, and he's going to kick some butt and fall in love.
When you say that the endowment is high fantasy,
Yes.
what kind, for people who don't read high fantasy, what movies would fall into that category of high fantasy?
So I write a Tolkien-esque high fantasy. So you can imagine that somebody got on a ship in Lord of the Rings and they just sailed, halfway across the world, and they found a sprawling volcanic island, and that's where we are. There are men, there are elves, there are, my editor says don't give it away, but there's monsters. So.
Okay, so if I like a movie that was adapted from one of Tolkien's books.
Some very coded language.
Then I would probably like your book.
Yeah,
because, okay, let's face it. Most people have not read The Lord of the Rings.
Well, yeah.
But have you watched it? I bet if you read the book, you would be wowed. One of my personal favorites. How many of us have watched multiple scenarios pulled from King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table?
Oh, yeah. That was a heavy influence too. That heavily, because that's my true love. If you were to ask me what's your favorite book, it's not. It's a play. It's
King Arthur.
It's plays. It's a number of short stories, and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle did several of the King Arthurs.
So many movies, films, even series have come from King Arthur.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, guys, I want to tell you something. I read the book. The book that's like 100 years old.
The anthology of all the it's the anthology of all the King Arthurs. It's like a collection of a bunch of short stories.
And then when I was finished reading King Arthur, I read the next book.
Mm-hmm. I forget who's the author of those though, because it's not.
I'd have to go get my book. It's on my bookshelf. But it is so much better than the movies, than the stories. We recently watched a movie about King Arthur.
Did you watch Merlin? I think they watched or Excalibur.
No, it was about King Arthur's son.
Oh, one of the newer ones. I didn't watch that one, so yeah.
Guys, you should get to know the characters. They should become your friends. Yeah. And when I finish reading a book that I love, it's almost hard to turn that last page and be done.
Oh, yeah. You should miss it. Yeah, you should miss it.
Because it's like, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? I've been reading this book. I've been spending every day, an hour every day with these characters. And now I'm not going to have... Okay, guys. I do have to admit, I was an English teacher. So I might be a little bit passionate about this stuff. But anyway. So do you have anything else for us?
Oh my goodness. We are editing as fast as possible. It's a big book. It's a big book. I'm not tempted to divide it into 2 books because the story really flows together. It really needs to be its own thing. And looking forward to the audiobook, I feel like it needs to be a goodly length. Everybody gets that one Audible credit a month. If you spend it on the endowment, you should feel like you spend it wisely. So it's going to be about 18 hours of audiobook. Really looking forward to that, if you can't tell. However, I have been giving a lot of thought to the print, the print copies, tossing around the idea of making a really, really beautiful hardback. Mm-hmm. So,
there might be somebody in her family who has a library.
Well, I'm thinking if you're going to put it on your bookshelf, I want it to be gorgeous. And not every printer offers that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about dust jacket. Like a lot of printers, you can't get a dust jacket. Now I want one. Now I'm like, okay. Yeah. And I'm looking at some holographic on the front where it says the endowment, and it's in silver, and I'd love to see that glittering, you know, because that's a very special reader who wants to invest in a hardback book.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to cherish it, and I want to respect that. As far as that's concerned, like I want to respect that, and I want to have the most beautiful product.
I'm somebody who keeps really, really good books, and the ones that I don't really care for, they're gone.
It's like it struck me all of a sudden. I'm like, oh, I can't just have anybody print it. It's got to be beautiful, you know.
Speaking of books, you mentioned my Bible.
Mm-hmm.
This is my second Bible that is wearing out. My original, it's falling apart. And a friend of mine said, you know, you can take that to the open door and they'll press all the pages and they'll rebind it and put it back together, and that way you'll always have your Bible with your notes. And I'm like,
and I want to send my baby away.
I can't do that. I can't like hand my Bible to somebody else.
Yeah.
And not have it for like, I don't know, months.
Yeah.
That would be terrible. So anyway, okay. So, do you have any plans to write a sequel?
Oh, yeah. If I was not so busy right now, I have so many notes. In fact, I know what the next cover is going to look like. I know what the next title is, and I have to hide that for probably another year before I can reveal that to anyone besides Mom. Mom knows all about it, so.
Yeah. So this is a slowdown for you in writing.
Yes.
Because as you're slowing down and not rushing into the next book, you're revisiting what you've already written.
Yes, yeah.
And making it better.
Yes, yeah, and that's what the editing process is, and my own writing is improving. I was really nervous about even hiring an editor at all. And honestly, I'm finding out that I think every author goes through that, where it's like, but that's my baby and somebody's going to critique it. And that's not what they're there for. They're not critiquing your artistic choices. They're saying, oh, I see you were trying to say this. Let's make it more clear. And then that invites you. So I'll see a suggestion, and then I go and I say, oh, okay, I need to make this more clear. That invites me to write even more. And that's been my experience with you as a beta reader. Is Mom called me with girlish indignation the other day, and she was like, excuse me, I was ready for some beautiful romance, and I mean that in the
most pure way.
In the most pure way, yes. So
when we're talking beautiful romance,
poetry.
We're talking poetry. We're talking.
She was ready for them to confess their love, and I dropped the ball.
Yeah.
I dropped the ball so hard. I have gone back and fixed it, and I have messaged the 5 other beta readers and said, stop. Do not read chapter 15 and 16. I did surgery. I have new pages for you.
Yeah.
And she got literally halfway in the book and she goes, excuse me, it's supposed to be right now. That just invited more writing. And that as a writer is thrilling, because you wouldn't have asked for them to be really in love if you weren't falling in love with them.
So anyway, you all have the endowment to look forward to. I'll be posting lots of information about it every time Kirsten makes that next step. Hopefully we'll be back here next Wednesday to talk to you again, and we can even do it on vacation.
I was going to say, there's probably going to be a beach one.
There's going to be
hopefully
a beach
it'll be a lot
one
more tan than I am
where
right
we get
now.
to talk. We'll be talking about authentic beauty, and we will be talking about the endowment, because the endowment is authentic beauty. Prior to writing the book in high school, Kirsten had written plays, she had written poems, she had written lyrics for songs. She's always been a writer ever since she was a young girl. Her teachers. It's so exciting because I see so many of you on here with us. And her teachers were always giving her assignments to write.
Yeah.
I mean, from like first grade on.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and my first book was Moose and Bear Friends. I was 7, so it's a banger, man. Dad still has it, so.
So it's like, this has been part of her life forever. And it's really exciting whenever I see you, her teachers, commenting on different things that I've posted, because you were there whenever she started. And so I'm going to keep you updated.
When I think about the future with the endowment, we could go 500 years back. We go 50 years back. You know, I was telling you, you know, we got a love story 50 years back that needs to be told. I am going to write the sequel next. That's where I'm going next with it. And I really think that this particular story is going to wrap up as a trilogy. I really foresee that. But I could write in this world forever. I have put little things in the first book that would invite like a young adult novel. That could be kind of fun, you know.
Oh, and you've talked to my grandson, my 13-year-old grandson, about, okay, this is what I'm writing. What do you think? And it is absolutely his genre.
Oh, yeah, he's all about it. I'm really looking forward to my nephew Garrick reading it. And he's probably about the age that I would say he's 13. He'll be 14 in August. That's about as young as I would suggest. I'm not writing Game of Thrones, okay? So I was thinking more, about the time that Jesus was born. Actually, is one of my favorite parts of history to study, and where they weren't just conquering to conquer, they were making political alliances. And she's actually in a part of the book where that's about to be very important. I've got a lot of different side plots going, and there's a lot of political tension, which is really fun to write. But yeah, so even though it's definitely the weaponry, the things that they wear are definitely more medieval, I was really inspired by Roman history. That's my favorite.
So we'll have more to talk about next week.
Yeah.
So next week, about the same time, I'm not going to give you a definite time. I'm not constrained by time.
We'll probably be in the middle of packing for Florida.
It'll be about this time. We'll jump on and say hi to you. Until then, we'll talk to you later. I love you guys. Bye-bye.